What's good, everyone? Welcome to another reading. This one's going to be about location, somewhere where you're going. Or maybe I might even call it place, a place that you're going. So I feel like this is going to be a physical place. It might be linked to a holiday, a work opportunity. Possibly you're just moving home or moving location. It kind of had that vibe to it. So, as always, pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. Feel free to pause the video and I'll get stuck into pile 1s. I haven't been using my voice today, so it's not even in the morning, but I just realised I've had a bit of it wasn't even, I guess it was introverted. It's always introverted, but just realised I haven't spoken today to anyone, like at least with my voice. I don't know, part number 1s who might be able to relate to that energy. Quite an interesting energy coming through. Put some rap music playing outside that might be connected to your location. So look, I'm going to make sense of this afterwards, right? So just bear with me. Tap into what you hear, what you feel. Part number 1s. So this could obviously relate to the, would you call it etherical world? Astral world? I don't think these messages are that. I think they're quite literal today. But the way that it's coming through is not like, for example, maybe the other poles might have this, but it's not necessarily like the Eiffel Tower. So we know we're talking about Paris, for example. It's coming through in a way which is quite ambiguous. It's kind of more touching on features. And I guess that's mainly because it is a collective reading. It's not made for one person. So we're getting a few things coming through. But a certain amount of features. So I'm going to explain those features. But like I said, feel free to pause the video. Use your own intuition and see if it aligns. I might also add that I really like this drawing. It reminds me of something that I would draw in architecture. Kind of almost like a little site analysis drawing. I feel like there's also numbers connected to this. I'm kind of getting the number 33. That might be important to you. Okay, so pole number ones. We've got some form of like, this is kind of your point, your place, and it feels to me like it's in the middle of something. So these mountains, which they're meant to be, remind me of a place which I visited in China called Guilin. They actually filmed some of the first Avatar movie there because it's got these stunning mountains. You can Google. I'm not quite, can't remember how you spell it. I think it might be Guilin, Guilin. Probably getting the tone wrong. It's probably Guilin or something like that. Has these beautiful mountains, and the interesting thing about this is that the message isn't necessarily that you're surrounded by mountains like this. It's that you're surrounded by something, which is why amongst these mountains I've kind of drawn these silhouettes of buildings. That's what these are symbolizing. Because you may not have any mountains in this location you're going in. It may be, it may just be like skyscrapers, and then in the middle, it does also remind me a little bit of like, I think it's called Central Park energy in America, where there's this plot of land amongst this heap of high rises. Also, it gives me another image of, let's say, if we removed the buildings and it was nature, this could also be like a lake. I'm not sure if you're vibing with me with that part ones, but I'm getting a vibe of like a lake here too. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a place where you're living or possibly staying. It might be a place that you're visiting, because it reminds me of a lake. I can't really tell you what these 33 symbolize. You're gonna have to use your own intuition there. They could possibly link up to a date. Now, as far as I'm aware, there's no 33s in the calendar month, days of the month. But let's say, for example, it could be like the 3rd of the 3rd month. You know, it could be a link like that. Or, yeah, I can't really think of anything else now. I think 2033 might be pushing it a bit far into the future. Although who knows what YouTube's doing at that time. Like this 2033 might be when this shit goes viral. I'll be like, fuck this shit. Fuck this. I'll be long gone. I'll be designing my mini houses. I'll be like, fuck you. If you pause crowd, you took way too long to back this. Oh, that's making me laugh. So back to your reading. You might be life path 33. You might be age 33 when visiting this place. That just came to me from spirit too. The sun, you know, this is not like hot weather, but I've got a vibe here, like you've got good weather on your side. I wasn't getting the vibe of, oh shit, it could be 33 degrees. Weather, could be the weather, could be, that's pretty hot. That's very hot. At least a casual day in London, that's a very hot day. So, yeah, you got some clues there, pile number ones. I'm not going to bleed this reading out. Got generally good energy from it. Just remember that there's this energy of being enclosed. You're in a spot which is enclosed. So just take that for whatever it means to you. And good luck. Sending you good vibes to this new location or this new place that you're visiting. Let us know if it resonates in the comments. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Okay, pile number 2 is place or location where you're going to. Okay. Cock that up a bit. Okay, I really don't want to make this too detailed. Pile number 2's. But hopefully you get the vibe. In fact, the vibe might be very different for all of you. That's just my oven. Sorry for the background noise. Let's check we're still in the frame. We are. Okay, now pile number 2 is I'm obviously hurrying this because, like I said, it's not so much about the illustration. But what this is kind of showing us is some form of like manor house, or you know, sorry, coming from an architect, I know I should have. maybe made it a little bit more slick, but I found myself kind of rushing it, which I think is okay because we kind of got to the point. But this is like definitely estate vibes. And there's a feeling here of like it being constructed. Like there's a lot of dashed lines coming in, and that means different things in my readings. But here I feel like it's very much something that's being worked, almost something that's being designed on. And we've got this fancy gate here. For some of you, this might mean different things. I remember kind of gates have come in to some of my earlier readings, so this might be connected to some of the other piles from previous readings. But there's this energy here of so visiting this estate. This may be yours, fingers crossed. But there's definitely this essence here of like it. If it's not getting redesigned, renovated, maybe it's being built from scratch. Don't know, it could be a new project. Well, that would make sense for me. I'm not sure if I would want to even take on a project like that, but hey. For some of you, it's like, you know how, at least in the UK, you can visit these old country manors. They've got some form of like history or story. Some of the stories are more darker than people want to admit, sometimes including, let's just say, corrupt ways of how they acquired this estate or this wealth. But yeah, not to put a gloom on it, generally it's a positive reading, right? It's there's like, if we was to highlight the key words of this reading, it would definitely be to do with luxury, to do with wealth, to do with abundance. This is a place of abundance, God damn it. Like the vibe screams abundance. The vibe screams, you know, even if this is a rundown property, it screams potential. It screams history. It screams money, basically. So this is my money piles, pile number 2s. I'd say tap into that energy frequency of the number 8. 8 is coming through. I'd also say that there's something a lot to do here with like nature in terms of like pruning. That makes sense. Like some of you, it might even be like a gardening project or something to do with the garden. Or you might be visiting this property because it's got a very well-known like garden or nature space. I'm feeling this is kind of a Western property, but I could be very wrong there. This could be somewhere completely different. Just let that person pass by. And actually, to be honest, this is your reading over. Part number 2s. If you enjoyed the reading, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com. Obviously, feel free to pause the video, pause the picture, and see if you're getting any other energies from it. But generally, yeah, I think I've kind of nailed the points of this. It's like some kind of work in progress. I highlighted all the key areas. I feel like there's possibly something to do with it being like a secret as well, because the gate gives me kind of private vibes. But yeah, explore that, see what your energy is resonating with. But for now, I'll leave you to it, pile 2s, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Take care. Okay, pile number 3s. Place or location where you're going. It's funny because these felt like literal places. And then there goes my pile number threes. Where something completely astral's coming. So at least for today, you might be my dreamer piles. Going into a different pool or something. Completely different energy. From It's got a slight pivot on that. I think we're gonna just leave that. We're gonna go with it. It's kind of annoying me, but I feel like Spirit was letting it flow that way because this reading seems to be floating. It's literally, if I could put it simply, this seems to be in the dream world. And it's just insane to me how different this reading is coming through. Even color-wise, like purples, dark blues, space. I was seeing stars, and I was like, "What the? You going to are you friends with Elon or something? Going to the damn Mars or something?" And then I was like, no, this is them in the astral. And it's like in this place, I feel like you're actually manifesting. So there you go, that's your reading kind of in one. There's something interesting going on here with this diamond as well. It's almost like, I'm not sure where to put it, but there's almost like this thing coming off. And that's creating 6 points, whatever that means. Ah, 6. That's your number. All the readings have had numbers. I'm not being funny, pile number threes. And I only say this because this seems so random for me, but this is almost something that you would get in like a Marvel or sci-fi movie. You know, like there's this one crystal with all this power. And don't get me wrong, I love that shit. But the way that this is coming through is like, this is a real thing. So I'm confused right now because this seems very, it's not even is it sci-fi? I don't know, like, I'm struggling to rein this one in. Because it feels to me almost like the place or the location you're going is like a place of, it's possibly of even understanding. It's like finding the key. This is like some kind of, like I said in those movies, you know, there's like one, almost like the Lord of the Rings, one ring to rule them all type energy. You're finding your gem, your like crystal of life connected to the 666. But I can almost see this diamond like floating around in this kind of these glass cylinders. Something to do with sixes as well. And like I said, I was seeing this in astral space, but it was almost like literal space. I feel like you might be exploring your dream world better, pile number 3s. And in that dream world, you're understanding how to explore. And it's like you're able to adventure in that astral space. It's funny, it's because it's almost like that's what a child does. In this world. And then we're kind of told to snap out of it, get into reality. It's like you're able to, it's like the child knows that the reality is in the dream. Oof. And then that's kind of beaten out of them. And then as a mature adult, you kind of relearn that lesson of basically dreaming it again to make it happen. You know, it's like Spirit's given me it in a way that it's like the child knows that it's the kind of the spirit first, and then because like the spirit is like aware almost of its power as a child. It just bees in it, and then this system that we live in snaps us out of it, gives us those slaps. And then over time, some of us come to realize, oh, it was spirit first all along. And it's like we're relearning that lesson that we knew already as a child. And Spirit's saying that, you know, this isn't wasted time. Very deep message, Pile 3. It's like, thank you for even being here so I get to share this. But it's like, Spirit's like you learn the ways of structure in this earthly realm. And you're able to build upon that with, it's not quite maturity, but it's with like experience, something like that. This is completely just channeling now, Pile 3s. But it's like, Spirit's reminded me like not to live in regret, that you've basically, in a way, done a circle, and we all do. When you're kind of spiritually mature, you kind of realize that not all necessarily, but the things that we used to be open to as a child are actually real to some extent. They're not maybe in the way that we perceived them as a child, but they're real, they're actually true. You know, it's like, I'll give you an example that Spirit's asking me to share. Like, I'm not sure if you can relate to this, Pile number 3s, but as a child, I was obviously, not obviously, but I was sensitive, just like how I'm sensitive now. And as a child, like, I really could see people's energies, like, no, I don't fuck with that person's bad, or I just don't fuck with that energy. And then as a child, you're kind of told to do certain things or act in certain ways around certain people. And then as an adult, you come to realize, shit, like, that child was right. That me, that younger self was just right. Now, the beautiful lesson in that is that, so the child was right. So that's the first thing which is fucked up really in this reality is that that child is then told that they're wrong for being that way. But there is important lessons that that child has to learn, right? Is that, for example, the ways of this world are very complicated, and they can be very destructive and very evil. So actually, by that child being told maybe not to act that way, it is actually a good thing, because if that child is told that they can act in whatever way that they want to around whoever they want to, that child is going to live a life of misery. And although we live in an age where it's like, be yourself, be authentic, you know, Palfreys, if you really do speak your mind truthfully in every circumstance, you might just end up being disowned, almost, what's the word, just like, you might end up dead. Like, real talk. You go into the wrong area and you go tell a bunch of people what you really think about them, you might end up dead. So the child does have to learn, actually, that there's complications to this reality. And that's just part of the game, and that's a beautiful thing. So it's like Spirit saying, yeah, reflect on the purity of the skill that your inner child had, but know that all these kind of tough lessons that you've learned along the way are very, very beneficial to how you, as an individual Path3, are going to make this world a better place. And I feel like that's a beautiful way to even leave this reading. Feel free to, like, obviously pause this video, absorb the image, and see if you find any other codes in there. Definitely not the first time that this diamond shape has appeared. It does remind me of the Sims computer game, although it's very different on how it appears to me. This shape is often, not always, multicolored, and it changes. It can be many colors at one time, and it can be one color at a certain time. It can also change shape. But yeah, part number 3 is, I think that's your message. Like I said, feel free to pause it and see if you find any other codes. But yeah, good luck in the astral, and thank you for being here. If you enjoyed the reading, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.